Today at Eppy's Chop Shop, your mom asked me what the shocker was, and I figured, well, I tell her when I can show her. Oh, what up, guys? Welcome back to yet another installment of the Chop Shop. And I gotta say, I'm both partially more excited, believe it or not, than I have been on the channel thus far. That's saying a lot considering the progress I've made on my my F100. I'm also really disappointed in myself. You know, a couple episodes ago, I let the Merc go so that I could focus on the F100 because things were getting in the way. Ooh, are you ready for this? Don't know if you are. If you were paying attention in the last video, it was in the background a little bit. But here it comes. You see all this fucking hot mess that I brought home? Who would not be excited about that? Now, what we've got here is a 1965 Galaxie two-door. The guy I got this from, Levi, believes that this to have been an original straight six car, now sporting a 302 C4 trans. It's smoked. It's only got reverse engine. Actually, it fires up and runs surprisingly well. I threw the battery in it, bought a super cheap starter for it, fired it up. So check that video out real quick. Hell yeah, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little run video of it. But check this thing out. It's super solid. It's definitely got a... We'll get to the rear here in a minute. But I mean, this thing all the way down. I think there's a little bit of something there. I don't know if it's more thick paint or anything, but I mean, you can tell this is pretty much bare metal. All the way through. Interior. Super clean, super clean. All the door panels are in amazing shape. No headliner, no biggie. Dash is immaculate. Look at that. All the way around. All the panels are mint, even the rear's good. All the windows are good. Now, this thing took a blow in its rear end at some point in time. And apparently, this was the damage that come off of it. Not a big deal. But what the owners decided to do was literally cut off the entire rear end of the car. When Levi got it, it was just where it's black. There was no blue fender. I don't believe that fender was over there either. I believe he mentioned, and I've not double checked it yet, I believe he thought that these quarters, or at least this quarter, was actually a Fairlane or something, not necessarily a Galaxie. So this side isn't exactly correct, but I do have that panel. I have all of the panels to finish this with the trim, the piece that comes across and everything. And of course, they're gonna weed whack now. But we're missing part of a car here. Again, to me, not a big deal. This is metal. I can fix that. Like I said, I just said it. I have all of this. There is just this bad spot of the frame to be replaced. It's not a big deal. This is actually a coil car, not a leaf spring car. So the rear of this actually isn't really supporting anything but a little bit of the body weight, no suspension or anything. But we'll just lop this off up there, and we'll pull whatever measurement this is, and we'll just replace that with a piece of rectangle or square tubing. Probably go ahead and just cut this side off to make it match, get the bumper back on. We'll throw some sheet metal in here. No big deal. Check it, check it. I know it sounds like a big deal to most. I don't feel like it's a big deal. It's just metal. It's just not a big deal. And I'd like to add that I have no intentions, I'll get this out of my face, on making this thing mint and pretty. You know that's not how I do things. Look at my truck. This thing is going to get some cool speed parts and become super badass and hang out, because this thing came with some really cool shit. So just hang out and just hear me out for just a second. I have no intentions on restoring this thing. Went out. In fact, I have intentions on stripping this interior, getting rid of the windows, replacing them with plexiglass. This thing actually came with a really nice set of doors. One of them, I believe, even has its door panel, not this one, but this one. I'm probably gonna turn around and sell those guys, but ooh, I don't want to show you. I don't want to show you. My second favorite thing this car came with was, boom, a complete, all but what, distributor cap, carburetor, and some linkage, 460 cubic inch Ford big block. And I mean, I'm talking down to manifolds, flywheel, the clutch fork with its boot, the clutch pedal linkage. It actually is attached to the same transmission, the same Tremec that my F100 has in it. And as you know, I went Hurst. I went get to it. I went Hurst. Forgot I had all these goodies for the F100, didn't you? We're getting there. We're getting there. I've done some research. In 65, my hand is right in the way. 65, this car would not have come with an engine that large. I think it may have come with like a 352 or something oddball like that. But in later years, I believe in 69, the Galaxie came with the 429 big block. The 429 and the 460 are the same block. So in theory, on Rock Auto, I can scoop up those motor mounts for 10 bucks a piece. And this engine is going to fit in here. Levi has actually already had this in here once before. I think he got some truck motor mounts or something. But you can see in Rock Auto, these the motor mounts I'm looking at should set this engine quite a bit further back, I do believe. And then as far as transmission goes, the C4 is just a 2-speed and pretty small. I'm willing to bet this might bolt in its place, if not light modification. But my intentions are, and believe it or not, I have this engine sold already, which is why I'm trying to kind of boogie and get this video done and out, because I have this engine and this blown transmission sold. And that leads me to another point on this car, as I scooped it up pretty cheap, and my intentions are to take all of the things that I'm not using, like I said, the windows, the interior trim, the entire front suspension, I'll get to that here in a second, the engine, the transmission, the extra set of doors, anything that I'm not using. There's a bunch of things. Any of the profit that I'm going to make on that is going to go back in the car. And what I'm finally getting at, and why I'm so excited, this thing's going to be a gasser, guys. This thing came with an original Ford straight axle, and it's a steer axle. It is. This was actually under a trailer, and they didn't weld the hubs. They actually did a bracket and put holes through the steering shaft here, so that you're able to just remove that, and this thing steers again. It obviously needs all cleaned up. I may or may not reuse the leaf springs, but I'll for sure get it mocked up in here with this. Definitely reuse that axle. For I think it's $200. Speedway, another company, makes a set of spindles for these that adapt these hubs to Mustang hubs, so you can run disc brakes and a 5x4.5 bolt pattern. And that, my friends, is going to go right there, and that's why I don't need any of that front suspension. Don't need these windows because they're going to be plexiglass. This whole interior is going besides the dashboard. I'm keeping the dash 100% complete, and I think I'm actually going to keep this bucket. There's just something about jamming gears in a bucket seat that's bad as fuck. I don't know what it is, but I don't know that I'm even going to really go through, and it's going to be a ratty, badass rat rod. Me and my wife have already done a little pull. We named it, pardon me, this filler's name is Neil deGasser Tyson. Yes, like the biologist, scientist. I can't even with the astrophysicist. There we go. Neil deGasser Tyson. I've been working on a logo on our vinyl shop to get one printed out. We're gonna do one up on the fender just like we did Sandy. Get this 302 out. Get this 460 in. The plan is to mock this in place. Make sure it fits and does a thing. Pull it back out so the front end is light again, so that I can ditch all that front suspension, mock this up. At that point in time, I can start ditching parts of my front suspension. I'll have a little more thought into how I'm going to handle my interior. I can start getting rid of parts like that, and this car will start funding itself. Like I said, the motor mounts, I'm going to have like $30 in theory if they work or not. I've also been on some forums. I've heard of guys, I read of guys using FE block motor mounts to make this setup work. They said it sits a little bit higher than they prefer, but it does work. But they said the 429 motor mount should work for sure. And you know, correct gasser form. Once money starts coming back in, like I said, this thing should have a tunnel ram on it. It should have a big old intake, dual 4 barrels. I'm gonna jump back on some forums, do some more reading, figure out how much lift these factory heads will handle. Get a cam kit that will get real close to that number. I don't wanna push it, but we'll get real close to it. And then I may or may not use these and just run like they need a little bit of love, but maybe run a giant like 3-inch down the side with just some like what are they, Dynamax cheater mufflers or whatever. But this thing is also going to be set high enough. I thought about just running zoomies straight out the fender, or, you know, running a collector down here. But, you know, in Gasser fashion, it needs to have a big ass engine sticking out of the hood, and your exhaust coming out through your fenders down the side. Also, you know, a traditional Gasser would be leaf springs in the rear. I don't think I'm going to switch this thing. It's got those like really sketchy spring expanders in it that need to be ditched. I can show you this thing. Oh, this thing's got a 9" too. Factory 9". So I can throw a locker in here, like some 411s or some 456 gears, and beat the crap out of this thing. But, oh, the springs. Some expanders in there. So this thing is in a sketchy, incorrect form. There's some in the front too, sitting higher than it should be. This will obviously raise that front end quite a bit, like a Gasser does. I don't know what I'm going to do with the rear. I'm going to try and find some longer coils and make something happen. But I am going to keep that 4-link. May or may not have to, as you see, like a lot of Gassers though. Not that freaking high, but doing like a nice round wheel tub so you can fit some tires back here. But, you know, we got to get some white walls, some deep aluminum rear wheels, some skinnies for the front. But like I said, I think this thing will fund itself. And I am infinitely excited about this video. If you've been hanging out with me for a while, you've heard me bring up Gassers over and over and over again. When I had the Econoline, I thought about gassering it. I had never seen one. Thought it'd be badass. When I had the Willys Jeep, same thing. I was like, man, this thing's already got leaf springs all the way around. All I gotta do is find me a solid steer axle for the front. I'll turbo that Lima 2.3 that was in it, and I'll have like an oddball 4-cylinder turbo Willys Jeep Gasser. Traded it out. But when I came across this, I just couldn't let it go. And like I said, I didn't show you the box of trim that's in the back, but I got a whole box of chrome pieces. And here is that whole section that I'm missing from the rear. Just need to cut that dude up, get her on. I said we got a whole big block. These manifolds aren't even cracked. There's one tab, and the pipes are seized on. But I mean, you can weld onto those. You could tap these out and tap those out and make it happen. This is a whole bag of old like points and condensers and stuff Levi hooked me up with. Guys, seriously, I cannot be more excited about this project. This thing is so cool. I hope everyone else is as excited about it as I am. We're not leaving Sandy aside. You know, she is not becoming my side bitch. Sandy is faux show the main bitch. I gotta get all my steering stuff that is not right here. It's actually in the house. I have all new steering everything, as well as the DJM drop brackets need to be installed for the tie rod ends. I need to get my springs ordered. I need to get this down to Kokomo for my buddy to weld some bungs and stuff into it for me. But yeah, I'm hoping to have, actually, by the time this video drops, this engine should be gone and out. And I hope to have that sitting. No, I won't do that to you. I won't put that in there without making a video about it. I promise. I will not do that without you. I'll pull the 302. I'll pull the 302 without you because it's the exact same engine that's in Sandy. We won't do that again. But I'll let you experience shoehorning that big block in there with me because I don't know how it's going to go. Like I said, I did some forum reading. I'm hoping it goes smooth. It's been done before. Just doing a little bit of research will make it happen. But if you happen to be interested in any of the oddball stuff, like I said, I'm not selling anything on the body. Anything. I'm selling pretty much everything out of the interior except for the bucket and the whole dashboard steering wheel. I'm keeping all that. The rear seat, any of these panels, not right now, not till I get to the plexiglass, but these windows will eventually go. And that's about it. The entire front suspension. I said 100% upper lower control arm, spindle to spindle. You gotta go because that's what's going in there. So I think that's it. for this episode, though. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Huge shout out to DJM again for hooking me the fuck up with the I-beams on the Bronco. Wow. The F100. That's it, guys. Thanks for tuning in time and time again. And again, you know, I gotta thank you again, because with my numbers going up, and I've said this before, if it weren't for having a handful of loyal viewers and even subscribers that I talk to back and forth every day, I probably wouldn't be out here in the garage every day making the progress that I am. So I do owe you guys that. So thank you for tuning in and keeping me motivated, because it really does. Hope everyone is doing fantabulous in this crazy ass time we're living in. Deuces.